Through the inside, go. We competing today.
No, there you go.
We're moving.
This is Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh, presented by FanDuel.
The Jets are back home today at MetLife Stadium for a date with the surging Cincinnati Bengals. Coming up, we'll check in with head coach Robert Saleh and hear from Brian Baldinger and Ethan Greenberg. But we start, as always, with Bart Scott and Leger Douzable. Bart, the landscape certainly has changed for the New York Jets at the quarterback position.
Yeah, I tell you what, I think Mike White did a great job, though. I think he did a great job in, getting the offense on a rhythm. When his back foot hit, he made a decision. He got the ball out. Now, I don't know what Joe Flacco knows as far as the West Coast terminology. I know they acquired Joe Flacco from the Philadelphia Eagles, but we know that he's a pro. We know that he has connection with Denzel Mims. He's a guy that's going to be able to facilitate. So, I mean, it's a mystery to you and me. I mean, you talk about the mystery mobile, mystery machine, Scooby-Doo around here in light of Halloween. We'll see. We'll see how much they can get Joe caught up to speed, how much he retained maybe from a Gary Kubiak type of system, what the terminology and the language is. But we know with Joe Flacco, you get the deep ball and the field opens up horizontally and vertically because how the strength of his arm is the last thing that he's ever going to lose. So it'll be interesting to see how they decide to use him.
But what did you like about Mike White? How he performed against the Patriots. Yeah. Zach Wilson was getting the ball out of his hands 3.1 seconds. Mike White, 2.4 seconds.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do in this offense. Now, I like that he went out there and took what the defense gave him. We had talked about it the week ahead that New England was susceptible to the backs coming out of the backfield, especially in zone coverage. So he did a really good job finding Ty Johnson, finding Michael Carter in zone coverage. And then on some of his throws to Corey Davis, getting the ball in his hands as soon as that back foot hit. Now, the times he got in trouble was because he was late with his reads. The interception to Ryan Griffin in the middle, threw it a little high, was late, had him open down the seam. And then the out route, and we talked about this too, J.C. Jackson is a guy you have to stay away from on second and third and long. Deep out route, he threw the ball late, gets interception. But other than that, he really matriculated the ball down the field. I believe people tend to forget that the Jets got stopped twice on fourth down, or they could have put up more points, and then also had a missed field goal. But Mike White did a real admirable job getting, thrust into a situation, probably not getting any one reps all week long, and had the offense moving.
Bart, not bad at all. First down on foul pass, goes for a touchdown.
Well, absolutely. You talk about the ball placement, understanding, and you expect Mike White to have some more chemistry with the twos. So you expect guys like Cole to come alive, which he did. You expect guys like maybe Mims to come back because that's who he works with. That's who he understands the nonverbal and verbal communication as far as their body language, their leans and seeing things, because that's who he works with more. Now, it's going to be important for him this week as he gets one rep to start getting that chemistry, understand where guys want the ball, understand where guys, their speed, their catch radius, where to put the balls, when you want to protect them when they're running into zone coverages or running into trouble. And that's going to be, listen, there's a lot to ask, especially against the Cincinnati Bengals, team that is buzzing right now. Right now, number one in the AFC North and feeling good about themselves.
Deuce, Zach Wilson going to be out 2 to 4 weeks with the PCL sprain. How can this time away actually be beneficial for him?
Yeah, definitely. So now you get to see the game through somebody else's eyes. You get to sit back a guy like Joe Flacco, who's played a lot of football, won at the highest heights, getting a Super Bowl win, and knows how to be a pros. And even him watching Mike White and see him matriculate the ball down the field, kind of what Mike LaFleur wants this offense to be. You get to sit back and study that. Yeah, you don't physically get the reps, so that hurts you in development in that, way. But as far as being in the meeting rooms, getting to see what the quarterback's seeing, get to see what Joe Flacco sees at the quarterback position. And then on the practice field, I'm not sure if he'll actually be out there or will he be in rehab, but getting to see how they go out there to practice and how they let the ball go. And getting the ball out of their hands quick is what this offense is based off of. When that back foot hits, letting it go, trusting that your receivers are going to be there, and then just taking the underneath stuff, making the easy throws. We saw Mike White do that and have high efficiency doing that Sunday versus New England.
Coming up after the break, we'll check in with head coach Robert Saleh.
Now it's time to go inside the walls, brought to you by FanDuel.
I wanted to start with something your rookie Elijah Moore said after the game. He said, "Always a lesson, never a loss."
Yeah, it's wise for a young man, right? Whether you could say the same thing, always a lesson in victory also. You've got to be able to take whatever results give you and be able to take the learning experiences from them so you can get better from the experiences you've had. There's not much to be said when something like that happens. We're not the first nor the last team that things like that are going to happen to, and it's it's a very humbling experience, obviously, when you get punched in the mouth and you get gut punched that way. And but the league's not going to stop. It's not going to pause for you to feel sorry for yourself. We got to pick up. We got to get going. And I thought the guys did a really nice job on Monday, getting themselves together. Really good week of practice. And now it's just we got to go play.
What's the quarterback picture look for you guys right now? Because I know a lot of people were wondering what Mike White was going to give you. He came out and he moved the ball down the field consistently against the Patriots.
He did a really nice job. He stepped in. He played quarterback, got the ball to his playmakers. They moved the ball up and down the field, but we just couldn't capitalize. He's already a confident young man. He already does things the right way. He goes about his process and all that stuff is really good, and it's why we've been able to stick with him. It's why we've been able to have that confidence through OTAs and training camp, because we've seen him practice every day, and we think there's a lot to him, and he's a guy that, again, with reps, he'll get better, and we're just looking forward to seeing him in action.
What are you hoping Joe Flacco provides?
A guy like Joe Flacco, he's had so much success in this in the NFL. He's some of his best years were with Kubiak, which is very similar to our system, and so we're excited to have him. He's obviously a veteran leader and someone who can provide not necessarily help for the quarterback room, but provide a pitcher when he's out there running the offense and doing things the way he plays quarterback. Being able to watch him run the offense, the way he moves his feet, the way he preps, the way he does all those things. He can say a lot without saying anything, and that's the advantage of having a veteran.
I know it's tough to say there's a best case scenario when you see your number 2 overall selection down with a knee injury, but was this a best case scenario as far as the PCL sprain 2 to 4 weeks?
Yeah, it's best case would have been just a bruise that came up nothing. He's ready to roll, but for what he felt and what he heard, clearly the best case scenario, because it's good. He'll get a chance to reset. He'll get a chance to watch the offense played through another quarterback, and he'll be able to kind of go back through the first 6 weeks and digest everything that happened. And so there's a lot of good things that he can take out of this, and hopefully when he does get back, he's got a chance to finish strong.
Just how difficult is it operating without your quarterback on defense, and you're crossing your fingers, CJ Mosley back in the lineup soon, but everybody talks about what a productive player he is, and physical and instinctive, but as far as getting everybody lined up and making sure that they're seeing what they should be seeing.
Yeah, CJ is, like I've said before, since the day we walked in, he's done nothing but impress in terms of just, and he's not even trying, he's just being CJ Mosley from everything I understand. The way he goes about his business, the way he lowered his body weight, the way he comes out and plays and communicates, and the confidence that he conveys, and the way he just makes plays. He has been fantastic since the day we walked in, and obviously it did hurt. It gave Sherwood a chance to step in there and play and get some reps. Unfortunately, he got hurt, but yeah, just having a guy like him, I mean, there's not a lot of all-pro football players running around the NFL, and he's certainly one of them.
Is there a lesson here from what you see from the Cincinnati Bengals? Last year, I believe they started 1-5-1. I think they were 2-10-1 at one point. Now, last week, they just took down the Baltimore Ravens with 5-2, and people are talking about, hey, maybe they're one of the stronger teams in the AFC.
Yeah, they're, it's the model. You look at their first year, they were 2-14. Second year, they won 4 games. Third year, you accumulate, you install your systems. The players start understanding the systems. Everybody has a comfort within the system, so you can expand and do things that are outside the system when you're on the football field, because you're so tied to it. And they've done a really, really nice job staying strong, staying not necessarily patient, more urgent with regards to bringing in the players that they've brought in. Jamar Chase has unlocked everything for them. It's going to be a tremendous challenge, but it is it's a model in the league. You install your systems, you work your systems, you create your identity, and I feel like that's where we are right now in terms of we've got a really, really cool group of guys, and it's a very, very young group of guys, and it's obviously a model of something to look at.
Last year they had 17 sacks. So far this year they already have 19 sacks. So can you speak to not only the pressure on the outside, but just like you like to do here, is these guys, these opposing quarterbacks, don't have much room to step up anymore.
Well, and they've been playing with a lead, right? When you only have 4 wins, you're not really playing with much of a lead, and you're not going to get a chance to get after the quarterback, and the coverages are tighter. They're understanding what their coordinator's asking them to do, and so with those windows getting tighter, the D-line's getting an extra hitch to get home. So it's all encompassing. It's all complementary football, and when teams have to press and start throwing the football, Tennessee game, our D-line unleashed and had a heck of a day. So it's all kind of encompassing, and that's part of complementary football, of special teams getting things done, defense getting stops, offense moving the ball and scoring points.
It's Halloween Sunday. What are your kids wearing?
I'll find out later.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh is brought to you by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the New York Jets. Up next, we'll go inside the film room with Brian Baldinger, and Ethan Greenberg will preview Week 8 in the AFC East. Stay tuned. Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh is brought to you by FanDuel.
Welcome back, Eric Allen with Bart Scott, Leger Douzable. It is the Jets Cincinnati Bengals today at MetLife Stadium. Last year, the Bengals started 1-5-1. Bart Scott, is there a lesson in patience here for the Jets?
I mean, I understand what you're doing. I see what you're doing. You're projecting a little bit. That's what my therapist tells me sometimes, when you're projecting. But, I mean, you got to try and take the positive, right? The positive was Joe Burrow threw the ball a lot last year, and they ended up getting them hurt because they didn't have the offensive line to protect them. They go out and, they wanted to get Penei Sewell. They listened to their quarterback. He went out and got his best friend from LSU, and the rest is history. Now, if you're the Jets, you hope that, a tweak here, Mekhi Becton there, it's a little bit more continuity, a good draft, and a good free agency this year, and you can be the Bengals next year.
Leger, Burrow is great, but what has been the key to the build in Cincinnati in terms of what they're doing in front of him, around him, and defensively?
Yeah, it's balance. If you look at it, Joe Mixon is number 3 in the NFL in rushing the ball. This guy runs hard, and they run that zone scheme kind of like the Jets do, zone and split zone. And then you talk about those 3 receivers. What you have to realize is that Jamar Chase can run the whole receiving route tree. He's the one guy that can run every route. T. Higgins is more of their outside route guy, red zone guy, and then Tyler Boyd is going to kill you in the middle. He's their third down guy. That's the guy that Joe Burrow likes to attack in the middle of the field. And then on defense, his defense isn't getting enough love from the Cincinnati Bengals. Trey Hendrickson was their big price free agent, already 6.5 sacks this year, getting after the quarterback. Sam Hubbard had 2 sacks last week. So this is a good overall team. And like you said, they've struggled the last few years, but they were able to put it all together. That young group has really grown together the last 2 years.
For more on the Bengals, let's get to Brian Baldinger.
Thanks, EA. I want to take a look at the Bengals defense and the rebuilt defensive line. This Bengals defense is much improved and is anchored on the inside by defensive tackles Larry Ogunjobi, 65, and DJ Reader, number 98. They're excellent in all phases of the game. Here they are. They get off their blocks and take down Le'Veon Bell. Ogunjobi was a big free agent signing from Cleveland. Now here he is over the left guard. He's a good pass rusher. Right? He uses his hands well. He rips. He's got power, and he can get to the quarterback. Their big free agent signing at defensive end was 91, Trey Hendrickson. He led the Saints in sacks last year with 13.5. He leads the Bengals right now with 6.5. He's excellent at winning one-on-one battles, and he plays with great effort. Doesn't give up on plays. And on the other side, they're anchored by Sam Hubbard, number 94. Just a smart, good effort player that will get after the quarterback, but really is good at all phases of the game. Both Hubbard and Hendrickson are both over 6'5", big wingspans, and play the game with great effort.
This is the AFC East Roundup.
Taking a look around the AFC East, let's start in Orchard Park for a division game between the Dolphins and Bills. Buffalo's coming off a bye week, and Miami is still on a losing skid. The Fins have lost each of their last 2 games, both on walk-off field goals, last week's coming against the Falcons. The good news, however, quarterback Tua Tagovailoa had another good game, throwing for 4 touchdowns and 2 picks for a 109.5 rating. Then at 4:05, the Patriots head west to take on the Chargers. LA enters off its bye week, and the Patriots, they're coming off a prolific offensive performance. Los Angeles is led by second-year quarterback Justin Herbert, who took the league by storm last season when the former number 6 overall pick was named Rookie of the Year. He had a QB rating under 75 one time last season, and well, that came against the Patriots. You take a look at the numbers here, only completed 49.1% of his passes, 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, and we'll see how he performs in round 2 against New England. Wrapping up with the Jets, the defense is going to key in on a pair of Bengals who used to be Tigers. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase played together in 2019 at LSU. They won the national championship. You take a look at the numbers here, accounting for 20 touchdowns, 84 receptions, and close to 2,000 yards. Well, they picked up right where they left off in the NFL, as Chase leads the NFL, averaging 21.5 yards per catch. His 754 receiving yards ranked second in the league. Not too bad for the rookie. How will the Jets fare against this dynamic duo and respond after last week's loss? Kickoff is around the corner.
Don't go away. We're back with final thoughts on the matchup with the Bengals after this. Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh is brought to you by MetLife.
Welcome back, Eric Allen with Bart Scott and Leger Douzable. It's the Jets Bengals, 1 o'clock at MetLife Stadium. Bart, I have something for you that I think you're really going to like. Put your defensive coordinator hat on. Okay. The Jets have not been playing up to their standards the last couple games. A lot of injuries at the linebacker position. Where do they go from here?
I mean, it's tough, right? You want to cancel the gaps in the inside, because understanding that you have a lot of guys that really don't see the box well, you want to cancel the gap. So, if you get displaced, if you want to go, zone coverage, you got to make sure that you knife your defensive ends and make everything spill so that linemen can't get up to your linebackers in second level. You want to make sure that you're in 4 eyes, make sure if they're going to run the ball, because a lot of people don't run the ball through the A-gap. So you leave the A-gap under. I'm going to go a lot of reduce. I'm going to go a lot of heavy fronts and play, 2 safeties deep, or I'm going to play quarters on one side and cover 2 on the backside whenever I have Jamar Chase, by itself. I'll make sure I got 2 guys there, and I'm going to switch it up. It won't just be where I have the safety plan. Sometimes I let the safety invert and play cover 2, which is the same thing when the corner's playing the half, and just make sure I bracket him wherever he goes. And then I'm going to put on the defensive line and make sure that they get there and stop the run out of a light box.
So a couple things there.
Yeah.
You just talked about the defensive line. They were creating so much chaos early in the season. That seems to have gone away a little bit.
Well, the linebackers were making them right. See, so that's the thing. Like, CJ was making them right. So it allowed them to fire off. But now, with a young linebacker core, they don't understand that sometimes defensive linemen see things that you may not see, or they get cut off and they got to go back door. If I see my lineman go back door because somebody outreached them, I don't want my lineman going in a gap and jumping out of a gap. Stay in that gap as a linebacker. I'll make you right front side.
Okay. So how valuable, did we just find out how valuable C.J. Mosley is to this defense? Because not only his physicality, not only his instincts, but getting everybody lined up and following the proper assignments.
Yeah, that might be the understatement of the year. And we saw not having C.J. Mosley in the game, how it affects the rest of the defense, and also not having a guy like Jared Davis, who's a veteran guy. To me, the Jets on defense just didn't play smart, understanding situational football. 2nd and long, 3rd and long, they've been preaching it all year long. Alert the draw, alert the screen. And we got guys trying to pass rush on draw plays, and that's how Damian Harris had a lot of success with the New England Patriots. A lot of those draw plays were drawn up because Bill Belichick knew and McDaniels knew that the Jets D-line likes to get off the ball, create havoc in the backfield. So you just got to understand situational football, understand how teams are trying to attack you. But yes, when you have a guy like C.J. Mosley in the game, he alerts everybody to that. And we saw this earlier in the year on a couple of screen plays when he was just out there by himself making a play. Well, that came back to bite the Jets, because when there's only one guy making a play and that guy is removed from the equation, then what happens? You get explosive plays.
Any costumes for you guys today?
No costume, man. They just need to go out there and put up a good performance. I know they're sick after that tough loss versus New England, so I know they're chomping at the bit to get out there and play.
Nobody's going to feel sorry for you.
Pretty
it's
much.
the NFL, man.
Yeah.
Jets will be going with the stealth black look today. Fellas, enjoy Jets Bengals.